Appears weird, Louisa, in which the twin outliers who do not sleep.
Sleep shuns me, blessed with heavy interruption.
And sleep where warriors are truly accursed.
Why speak so candid? Famed we are as rivals. Salient adversaries are reflected in the performance of states. Care you not?
Only care I for Troy.
Take care, such caring doth not sacrifice their careful men.
Enough. Let us revel in this instant. Stand bold, please.
Is this Hector?
I am Hector.
Stand fair, I pray thee. Let me look on thee.
Hold. I will. Nay, I have to be ready.
Thou art too brief. I will the second time, as I reply thee. View thee, limb by limb.
Oh, like a book of sport thou won't be able. There's more in me than thou understand. Why dost thou so oppress me with them?
Frowning. You heavens, in which part of their body shall I destroy them? Whether there, or there, or there, that I may give the local wound a name, and make distinct the very breach without. Hector's great spirit flew. Answer me, heavens.
It would discredit the blessed gods, proud Achilles, to answer such a question. Stand again. Thinkst thou to catch my life so pleasantly as to prenominate a nice conjecture, where thou wilt hit me dead?
I tell thee, yea.
Wert thou an oracle to tell me so, I'd not believe it. Henceforth, guard thee well, for I'll not kill thee. There. You're there. You're there. But by the forge that stymied Mars his helm, I'll kill thee everywhere. Yeah.
Dost thou entreat me, Hector? Tomorrow do I meet thee, fell as death, tonight, all friends.
Thy hand upon that much.
What is it?
Perhaps a lot.
Ought I to kill thee?
Which I also, for no soul so much of mine prior.
Need I merely some extrinsic element which wounds me not?
Respite from within. Dancing.
Let's.
Mutual celeste, senses murmur. Where did thou rise and fall in desperate relation to tacit fancies? Thou which overarch even the melodious elixir of Apollo's heavenly choir. Doth time evaporate the same there as it doth here? How many eyes have gazed upon thee, and how many of those eyes have or shall disappear? Such spheres which must encircle thee, perhaps akin to this melee? Must ye look upon this tumult with hard-pressed indifference? So enraptured are we with our own daily display. Yet this is our performance, or those which seek to see and hear, however minute it may appear. Thy inherent magnitude incites in me the widow's might. Thou art architect of posterity, the names which survive their halted breath, who art untimely removed, or oft accomplices to their own quietudes. 'Tis glory I covet, glory in love, glory in battle, glory such as ye heavens can no longer spurn, to sit with thee and thy names, eternally glinting. Gotcha.
Oh, these arms of Achilles, so enraptured.
The rapture is to enrapture thee. What confounds thee?
How can, no,
Speak on, Hector. Let me know thy inner subject.
how can so worthy a soul meet with such displaced notoriety? What is thy purpose here?
I knew not before tonight. Blind is love, except
Tis sweet, but full honesty. What great loss is it to thee if Troy falls? Troy services as a cradle to an exhausted multitude. If in resolution of this bitter dispute the unthinkable is thought, will Greece take Troy as a prize? Nay, Greece will sack Troy as a matter of offence at having been contained for near a decade. Simply protocol to satisfy offence and rebuff sidelong discernment. And that multitude, each weary and intentioned soul, will be dashed. All. My family
objects, not I.
then why wouldst thou fight me, participate in this jostling atrocity? Speak!
I triumph. If Greece be one body, then be I the tip of its spear. 'Tis my duty to ne'er have known loss. Generals exploit this temper, I tame in the involvement. It beholds a single proclaim that victory is assured. That is the cause in which I am encumbered. Destruction abounds me, leaves me in its wake. 'Tis the paragon bondage. The gods will make their use of me.
The gods control thy not. Thou art thine own vessel. 'Tis a veiled compromise on which you speak.
I wish not to quarrel.
But quarrel thou do. What is all this beside the most entrenched of quarrels?
Of this a mistake.
In hope, no. This pestilent age which harasses. Presently, something is here.
We are known to each other. Both too know we the scene and the common enmity to flight of our kind's condition. One night cycle not be enough, there outlieth the seas. Could we not abandon this fire for that water?
It is my family.
So then it must be.
The matter's anticipation and will remain denied. I shall not fight thee.
No. I fare thee well upon the field.
And I think of thee, and you think of me, manifest yearning.
Achilles. War ages us.
To the mechanism into which flux ensues, chaos overwhelms, and agony manifests.
Men are mad.
Then war is their benefit.
What of war with honour?
Know ye not? Thou wert once young. Youth idled in war, for it bears the implication.
Direct.
Mostly, 'tis true. Forget ye not, though the maiming, industry is the wringing of children for wicked elders to claim fair play. If thou survive, then in sham desire, some attest towards the usurping their masses.
Prospect.
'Tis remote, nepotism all, to end in suffering, cursing their fathers with fleeting breath. That is the soldier's course. Lest we mention those that they have plundered.
Thou speak with such a tongue. Thou art Achilles, great warrior of noblest renown.
A weary addict lies here.
Deny the mouth, thy mouth the bind, and the people's fulfilment could render this displacement. What a tale was air, if in duelling thou dost best worthy Hector.
Or vice versa.
No.
'Tis all it would be,
Or
a tale. The foulest inversion of valor. A siren's bellow resonant owns the ears of the desperate and witless.
resolve a duel and end the war. So prophet Hector's ensemble, would you not fight to save as many men?
Many more would die were I to win. Babes inexorably enticed by the illusory seduction of glory. Our legacy is a slaughterhouse. War breedeth war. Never ending, more war. Lechery, still wars and lechery, nothing else holds fashion.
Thou April 30th. Thou art Achilles, great warrior.
Oh, Hades of the underworld, warrior, warrior, butcher, murderer, insomniac. All is here to forbear in senseless dismay. I dredge the plight of my foes, the scintillating scrap of one essence which giveth air to my ailing head, yet none is to be found. No, I cannot retreat. Here we have been for 7 epochs, all in pledge to this mountain fire. War is a fickle sport. Finally, what benefit doth embattlement bring? Blood, blood, and more blood. Howling faces beseech me in my gaze towards rest. I will never rest, nor ought I. There is not life for the great warrior beyond the great war. This terminal prize of open vanity.
So speaketh thou. Thou hast glory,
Glory is meet born.
you will be remembered.
If so, so will be the great plague.
You weary me.
Then let's to bed. Forget this disarray.
Bed, to bed. Troops fury on while we, like limpets, languish. So I that with Hector. To shelter thy honour, Achilles, and in vainglorious prospect, thrust my very essence.
Hath Dionysus great finally led me to the field of Elysium? Must it be so to awake to such countenance? Fair Hector, thou art bloodied. Where is my trophies?
Oh hell, all hell. Snuck I here to seek thy titanic grace. After the battle,
A battle.
it came from me. The campaign already rageth. Such a learned fury as only a soldier knows.
Hector, where is Metropolis?
Patroclus is slain. By mine hand. 'Twas not my desire, to fend her away was my intent, disarm and disavow my ploy, but kept coming did she, the crowd swarmed out, educating her rage. No, not I of such earthly wrath.
Thou murdered fair Metropolis.
I, but only in the second severed from hope and assumed by survival. I am sick.
Leave now!
Achilles, I came to entreat thee with
Abandon here, lest I entreat thou the pounding grip on your flesh!
this. I wish it not.
Oh. 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 Myrmidons, assemble to me henceforth. Would that once it should, we draw rippling blood. Witted I once to Hector, to a page on the walls of Troy, stood staunch for some 1,000 summers it be, built with genius. That page did boast these walls the tallest, widest, deepest. Spoke he with such obsequious veneration, was all I could do not to bash his skull against these walls. For what do walls purpose? For thou, Hector, they have caged thee and kept me from thou. Upon those walls of Troy all bore witness, as having pierced thy flesh 7 melancholy measures, tenderly I strapped thy ankles to the chariot. Priam wept, as did Paris, Andromache, Troilus, all thy family. Laying on a kiss, a drizzle of bloodied spittle strung twixt thy forehead across my grizzled lips. In display of ritual, I knew by your breath still heaving whilst I towed your weighted frame across the sand and pebbles, stretching and scraping away the kindly tissue from your face, torso and thighs, all splintered limbs. Prior to thy departing, I heard your voice whisper, Achilles, the walls of Troy. The walls of Troy, Achilles. Till whispers speak. Know all that lacking thou crucial pillar of forbearance, those walls shall fall. Though fear not, find a home shall they within mine intellect as they close in tightly, deeply asphyxiating the conviction by and by. Accursed walls, barriers, barricades, boundaries. Thou dissolve my walls. Now I am defenseless. Thought I, master of this celebrated temperament, no more, hence purchase the most afeared Greek now under firmament, and how in solitude he is rendered. Destiny's isolated idiot. Achilles kills grace. But thou wast thoughtless. I am my own vessel. I may make choices still in defiance of fate contempt. For there, as always, still lieth the seas. Were I to infinitely swim, slip my heels and release? Great fields of Elysium might yield me to the reefs beneath. I might breathe the whale. For I wish it to so, I so oft have calculated. This escape, coupling to thee, Metropolis in subsequent state absolved of constructs, wherefore we deserve the hereafter. There is one more penultimate choice, Hector. Brave Hector. Hector, whom I treasure and who in fugitive hours cast me in love's nominated sway. Wouldst thou dance with me, Hector? Dance with me, Hector. Forsake all else. My carnal mirror, whose innate virtues expose my wanton quiddity. Dance with me, my love.